Hello everybody, it's April 20th, the 20th anniversary of when Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold marched into Columbine High School armed with an arsenal of weapons and bombs and shot people. They killed 13 people, 15 counting themselves, and they wounded another 24. And we will now talk about that. What's interesting is that they initially planned to kill a lot more people than they did. Much like Elliot Rodger. He thought he would kill a lot more people than he actually did. He only killed 6. But anyway, what was interesting is that there was not one, but 2 shooters this time, and that's pretty rare. Usually these people act alone. But anyway, they went in together after being ostracized by society for so much. They basically said, I think it was Dylan Klebold or one of them wrote, "You never called. You had my number, but you never called, and now you're going to pay for it," or something to that effect. Eric Harris liked to draw himself as a triumphant warrior on a battlefield, and he would write things like "Kill Mankind." Dylan Klebold was an even more prolific writer than Eric Harris, but in any case, the two got a hold of firearms and found how to make bombs, and they went berserk in that high school. What's interesting is that before they went into the high school, there was this jock who came out to mess with them while they were by their car, and he was all like, "What's up, you little trench coat, fucking geeks?" Now, as we all know from our high school days, jocks are known for a lot of things. Intelligence is not one of them. But anyway, what's interesting is that they spared this guy's life. You'd think he'd be on the top of their shit list. But for whatever reason they did, and we can't ask them why because they're both dead. Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold committed suicide, as we all know. And, anyway, they set off their bombs in the cafeteria, and the bombs either failed to detonate and didn't produce enough of a boom as they hoped they would. Their plan was initially to wait outside the school for the bombs to go off and then shoot the survivors as they ran out. However, as we know, this did not happen, so they went into the school. In fact, they exchanged gunfire with a police officer, and they went into the school and they started unleashing all hell. Where they killed the most people was in the library, and where they would eventually commit suicide. But in any case, this is probably one of the four most influential shootings. The first being Charles Whitman, because his shooting led to the creation of SWAT teams. Elliot Rodger, because he started that whole "yes, all women" thing and all this crap about misogyny and all that shit, despite his unimpressive kill tally. And then we have Nicholas Cruz, who I've made several videos about, and you're watching that unfold right now. And if you want to know more about Nicholas Cruz, you can watch my videos on him. And I also have a video about Charles Whitman as well. And I have several videos about Elliot Rodger. But anyway, with this moral panic, they wanted to blame medication, they wanted to blame video games, they wanted to blame, of course, guns. They wanted to blame social outcasts, and they just really went all out with the zero tolerance stuff. I mean, they started suspending students for having plastic knives in their lunch boxes and things like that. They just went crazy. But anyway, the whole idea of I just really perplexed to all this because it's just the whole moral panic that they didn't blame the causes. They didn't address bullying at all or anything like that. But Eric Harris was rejected by the Marine Corps because he was on some kind of medication. I think it was antidepressants, which he was ordered to take as part of a court order or something. But there is evidence that he stopped taking the medication, and we can't ask him because he's dead. But Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris, they believed themselves to be humanity 2.0, meaning they felt they believed that they were superior to everyone else, and they hated mankind, and they were, as most of these guys are, misanthropes. They hate humanity. And people ask, why couldn't they just commit suicide? Why did they have to destroy so many lives? Well, that's a very stupid question. I will make a video addressing you people sometime in the near future. But anyway, the moral fiber of America was shaken. And what's interesting is that it didn't send shockwaves through America. I mean, there were so many much more deadly massacres, like Pulse nightclub in Las Vegas, that killed way more people. And yet, there is no thing about that. I mean, there was the Aurora shooting, there was Sandy Hook, there was a whole bunch of stuff. But anyway, what happened at Columbine was a tragedy. And we need to talk about this kind of stuff because they really set the standard for a lot of people, because a lot of school shooters since then have written articles, written things in manifestos about, wanting to outdo those two. And Virginia Tech, Joe, he referred to Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold as martyrs. So the duo really influenced a lot of people. And but sadly, the only thing a lot of high schoolers learn, the only thing a lot of people in public school learn from school is how to hate. And that is something we really need to work on as a culture. Otherwise, we will get more Columbines. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this educational video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace.